Hi, I'm Jo Taylor and welcome to the Misadventures podcast. Yep, so this week we've got Esther Manito joining us on the podcast, which I think we've both been pretty excited about.
We have our first recommended friend of another guest.
Yeah.
And she didn't turn us down.
She did not. I'll tell you what, she has been a proper little cheerleader of ours.
Don't creep to the guest.
It's not a creep to the guest. I'm just saying she's like properly supporting us, and that's good. I think that's worth saying.
Okay, sorry. We love you, Esther.
Yeah, thank you. What are you on about, creeping to the guest? You're the one that are just basically using this platform to be able to fangirl all over.
No, let's not say that.
What do you mean, let's not say it?
No.
It's the truth.
No, because no one will come on then who I've invited on.
Yeah, that is very true. But yes, Esther has taken us to some wild places, hasn't she, this week? Listeners are going to like this one.
More places we haven't been to before.
Yeah.
And some really horrible discussions that I don't want to revisit because they'll make me feel all I don't need to feel like that again.
You sound like a really shit vampire.
Vampire?
Yeah.
Is that a really shit vampire? I want to suck your blood. Oh, what's going on?
I don't know.
Yeah, anyway, people will find out what we're talking about, but not vampires.
Absolutely not vampires. Good episode, and
I mean, it's good. You always say good episode. I mean, if to be fair, if we started the intro and went, so shit episode this week, people would probably turn off at this point.
I don't know, I think they'll be like, well, what makes it so shit? Maybe that should be our tactic. Maybe that should be it, guys. This one is fucking
awful.
Yeah,
Turn
don't
off.
bother. This one's going to be a shocker. You don't want to find out why. And then we'll see the stats fly through the roof. Maybe that's a tactic we should take on.
Yeah. Let's do that next time.
Tell you what, we had such a good time recording this episode.
Oh, it was fun. It was great fun.
Yeah, it was. Also, we're releasing this episode, obviously, going out
Friday the 11th.
Friday the 11th of June. We've timed it on purpose. She's jumped the queue just a little bit because we're going to go and see her.
No offence to anyone else.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not because it's not, there's nothing else in it apart from the fact that we are going to see Esther do her thing in Manchester on
Sunday. Mate Day.
What? May Day?
Mate Day.
Oh, mate day. Bloody hell. You know how to friend zone someone, don't you?
I'm just making sure you know where you stand. After you said you wanted me to dress up as Freddie Flintoff and talk about it, I'm just making sure. Hashtag mate day.
Yeah, it is absolutely a mate day. So we've got our little playlist ready, haven't we? Stamps.
Country karaoke.
Stamps is going to drive us up in his little
new electric car. Yes. Battery's going to run out and we'll never get home.
I swear to God, I am so nervous about going to Manchester and back in an electric car. Honestly, Stamps, I plead that you make sure the car is charged before we leave. Because I am not sitting in a service station halfway up the M6.
For 7 hours.
Yeah, just for you to charge your car. I will be so pissed off.
You know how good I am at organising.
No, I don't know how.
I'll let you know right now, I am shit.
Great, can't wait.
Lily has put me off ever letting my daughters go on holiday.
Yeah, but she's such a slag.
Oh dear.
It's all right. We say that to each other's faces.
She did call herself a skank a lot in the podcast.
Yeah, everything's very kind of like, I'm such a slut and I'm just like slutting my way around, just being like massive slut. Which is ironic because people would think that it'd probably be me who's the kind of more skanky one, but it isn't, it's her.
Some of the stuff she told us. Poor Lily.
Poor
Lily's friends.
Oh God. Was it in somewhere like Faliraki?
Malia.
What was she doing? See, I never did any of those holidays when I was younger.
Do you think, now that we've had this year of being locked in, have you got this urge to go out and do a girl's holiday?
Definitely not with Lily.
Not with Lily.
That fire hasn't started to burn. You don't want to go there, no?
No, I mean, to be honest with you, girls' holidays, it's a little bit like being stuck on a hen do, isn't it? And hen do's are my idea of absolute hell.
You and me both.
Forced together.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, what I'm going to do is we're going to go away for a weekend and I'm going to take lots of people who are all in little groups and don't actually know each other that well. And I'm going to make them do organised fun. Someone ends up crying. Yeah. I remember being on one hen do and having to like wrestle the future mother-in-law off a policeman who she essentially was trying to sexually assault.
Amazing.
Yeah, while someone else was like sobbing down on the beachfront and another girl was going, I know you think I'm fat. And I was just like, this is like really shit. Like, why is this fun?
It's just like, here's my 3 friends from work. Yeah. Here's my real friends. Now mesh.
Yeah.
It's my 3 friends from work, 3 people that I'm going to be related to.
Yeah. And my real friends, people I actually like.
And my real friends and a stripper.
There's the old friends as well that they don't actually really hang out with anymore.
But you got to have 1 or 2 of them.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, my old friends and new friends, you know completely different versions of me, but you play nicely together. And it's like, well, I'm probably not going to, because you both think you know each other, you know the better.
We're probably lucky because I feel like on stag do's, there's always that one guy who's just a bit mental that everyone's a bit wary of. So like everyone else is like, let's have a few shots and go out. And there's one guy who's like, let's take loads of cocaine and murder a prostitute. And you're like, that's really intense. Like every time my partner came back from stag do's, he'd always be like, oh God, that one.
Yeah.
Like so-and-so's second cousin removed.
Yeah, you're right. There's always one. And there's always one guy who's ruined after like 3 pints, who's just then like a liability for the rest of the night, just dragging him around.
And then because he's been so repressed and not expressed any emotion his entire life, the moment he has a few Jaeger bombs, he suddenly just everything comes out in rage vomit and diarrhea. And it's just like, so at least we don't have that on hen do's. I was on a hen do once. I was 7 months pregnant, dressed as David Hasselhoff.
Oh my goodness.
In a Dream Boys strip club, eating. They said, oh, we've got a buffet. And it was like paper plates. Cheese and pineapple, cocktail sticks. And I was just there.
That's raised the bar, though. Always happy with cheese and pineapple on a stick.
I was just sat there, dressed as David Hasselhoff, pregnant, with some bloke waving his wanger around in front of loads of screaming hens, and I was like, this is probably my lowest moment.
You're like,
it don't get low.
I don't need to see that, mate. That is what got me in this mess.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I was
away.
Thinking. Yeah, keep that as far away from me as possible.
And one of them came up and was like, how far gone are you? I'm like, don't talk to me. Don't touch my baby. Go away. I'm so unhappy.
Yeah, I can't imagine that's a sentence you expect to hear on a hen do.
Oh, it was awful. It was so weird. I was like, nothing about this is erotic or pleasant. It's just very sweaty. It was like, you know, when you go to like a kid's nativity and they've laid out the like crappy cheap paper printed what are they called when you go, oh God, I've forgotten words over lockdown. I can't freaking talk.
Napkins.
No, you know when you go to a play
Leaflet?
and you get
Plate.
given a
program.
Yes, it was like all lined up chairs in like this hall, like a school hall, and they had like these little photocopied programs all laid out, and then at the back it was like paper plates and really cheap party foods. It just felt like you were going to this really sleazy version of a crappy show in a kid's school hall. It was absolutely awful. And then the strippers would come out and do their little dance, and then they just have to like clear up all their props and like scuttle off the stage. And I was like,
oh, it wasn't in like a proper like strip club thing.
No, it was all this, you know, those cheap kind of hen do package deals.
Oh,
and they're like, and you'll go to
yeah.
like a dream, and it wasn't. It was like the local village hall, and they just ushered in 16 hen parties.
Yeah.
It was quite bleak.
Do you know what? Right, I'm really glad that you brought this up, Esther, because I am very against the whole stripper thing. I think it's very uncomfortable. It's not for me. It's not something I want to be involved in. And I'm really glad to meet another lady that actually finds it as uncomfortable as I do.
No, I'm with you. Because I was pregnant as well. I just kept thinking, oh, that's someone's boy.
That's somebody's son.
And you're just like, oh no.
Oh.
I mean, it was in the middle of the day with 50 women all sat in rows while some guy is just dancing about on stage. Yeah, it just felt all a little bit like sad.
Ah.
Yeah.
It's a bit like...
I find the whole thing very awkward and forced, and I just don't like it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
No. Can you just sit down and we'll have a drink instead and have a laugh? That's all I want.
Yeah, I would never, ever want that for any kind of celebration.
No, put your clothes on, sit down, grab a drink, and we'll have a chat.
I do. I find it really uncomfortable. Really
If you're
uncomfortable.
listening, never book Esther a stripper.
That's the only experience I've ever had of attending any kind of stripping event. And I just made my polite excuses and was like, I'm pregnant, I'm going to bed, enjoy. And off I scuttled and just had tea and biscuits in bed whilst watching Jonathan Ross. So
That sounds far better.
I think you did well, considering you were so heavily pregnant and you still went. That's some commitment.
I know, and they never even got married in the end. So it's for nothing.
Oh my God. Shut up.
No.
As if. You're going to have to spill the tea. What happened, Esther?
I don't know. She just legged it. And that was it.
Runaway bride. Oh my goodness me.
She was a bit of a runaway bride, yeah.
Maybe she just did it for the hen do. Maybe she just wanted a bit of like daylight stripping.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe she liked it. I don't know. I mean, she had a good time. But I'm not really good with the whole kind of like forced fun and things. And I've always hated going on. Like, I'm someone that's like, go to a pub, sit and have like a night in the pub, or go around someone's house and do a night drinking there. But I'm really rubbish when people are like, let's go on somewhere. I'm like, no. Because the moment it's let's go on, it means sobering up and being in the cold. Can you just tell I'm just a really up for it, positive party goer?
I think you're talking to two very similar-minded people.
Yeah.
I hate it. Like I never liked clubbing throughout my entire youth. I was like, it's my idea of absolute.
Oh no, I do like going for a little dance. Like I am
not in a club.
I like kitchen dancing. I like put some cheesy tunes on, get your mates around, get drunk, put some cheesy music on in the kitchen, get the disco light out. I will dance till literally the wee hours. But when it comes to I'm like at uni, when you'd be in like Ministry of Sound and
oh no.
I was always stood holding everyone's coats. Just waiting for it to end.
The human wardrobe, human closet.
Yeah, just wrestling them off, random blokes. Just go, no, you don't want to do that. Come on.
The only kind of club I would ever go to is somewhere real cheesy, like Pop World.
No, I tell you where I did used to love going was GAY. That was a good night. Because that was nothing but pure cheese.
Proper cheese.
Music.
Yeah, see, I can deal with that.
Just dance and dance and dance.
Just dance music is not for me.
Yeah, the kind of non-cheesy, hardcore, like drum and bass and all the rest of it. I was like, oh no, this is just...
Yeah, no thanks.
That'd be my idea of hell now.
Yeah, I think Ibiza's like the worst place I could ever go to.
The things with Ibiza is that at least the clubs are a bit kind of like festival-y. So there's like loads of stuff going on. It's not that you're just rammed in a room. But no, I never enjoyed like queuing. It was a lot of queues, wasn't it?
Loads of queues.
Queues in the cold.
Do you know what? 'Cause that's the thing. Like, I look back now, and when I used to go out downtown when I was 18, I'd go out in just a dress and heels in the middle of winter in the bitter cold and think nothing of it and queue up outside. Now I'm like,
how many coats do I need?
Yeah, is it too cold to go out tonight now?
I've got a little bit of a nickname. And that is Two Coats Manito. The moment it starts to get a little bit chilly, I'm with them two coats.
Yeah.
That's my mafia name.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Nice. Two coats. I like it. I mean, it's dangerous.
All right, two coats. Two Coats Manito, mainly just because she feels the cold rather than concealing any weaponry.
Just make that clear.
She's just a very chilly gangster.
Oh dear. So the whole, kind of 18 to 30s rep holidays are not for you, are they?
No, never have been, never will be.
But you did travel to India with a friend.
I did.
Oh yeah, travel.
Yeah, because it is a travel podcast.
Yeah, I went to India. I used to live in India.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I lived in India for a little while.
Whereabouts?
I lived in Chennai, which is in Tamil Nadu in the south. We moved there because my husband's work moved us out there. And he had like an actual job and was an actual person.
He was an actual person.
He was an actual person. Whereas I just used it as a bit of a holiday and just did all the things. Just bummed about, and he'd be like putting a suit on, going, "Can you freaking well tidy this place up and stop, wearing beads and playing a wooden flute?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I'm just finding myself." But my mate then came to visit, and she was like, "Well, let's do something that's a little bit fun." And I was like, "Do you know what? I keep hearing about." because I used to do a little bit of English training. And I was like, all the women in the office, they were telling me about these like beautiful hill stations. Hill stations are kind of really like in the middle of the countryside. So you have to normally get like trains and buses to get there. And you can get to this hill station, then you take a taxi, and then you can go and stay with this remote village. They use elephants in the village to like help with just building and labour. And they have this really close relationship with the elephants, and you can get to see the elephants really up and close and like wash them. And it'll, and we can stay there the night. So she was like, yeah, let's do that. So we got to Mangalore.
How far away was it?
So I can't remember, probably like about 5 hours on the train.
Oh, wow, a long time then.
Yeah, and then we had to take a bus, and then we were like at this stop with this bus, and then we're like, oh, we've got to take a taxi to get to this place, but we didn't really know how that worked. And then this guy was like, oh, I'll take you.
What guy?
And I was like, he could be a murderer.
Just some fella.
Yeah, exactly. And so my friend went, don't worry, we'll sit in the back and I'll just hold my shoe over like the back of his head. So if he does try and murder us, I'll just bash him.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
it'll be fine.
Then. We'll just do that.
So you went with it?
I'll hold my shoe.
Well, she did. She just held her shoe. So we got into the back of his car. She held her shoe.
What kind of shoe? Was it a stiletto or what?
She was wearing Crocs at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, what defence is that?
I don't know. We just kind of thought, look, we'll be able to kill him, so it's fine. Anyway, he turned
out, death by slipper.
It turns out he wasn't. He was actually just happy to drive us for a bit of money and didn't want to murder us. So we were like, well done. You passed the test, sir. Well done. You've restored our faith in humanity.
In all humanity.
Yeah.
And then we get to this place, and they were like, okay, so we've got some cabins and you'll stay in these cabins, and then we're going to do some leopard trekking, and we were like, okay. And they said, we'll just take you to your hut. And the hut had like a big gap between the wall and the ceiling, so there was like a huge gap. And I was like, I just feel like because we went out trekking for these leopards and we found like their footprints and stuff, and then we saw some in the distance, and then we came back to the camp, and I was like, there is nothing to stop the leopards from getting into the hut. And the guy who
so it was a big gap.
Yeah, it was like massive. And he was going, no, because the leopards in the jungle, they've got loads of stuff to eat, so they don't want to eat you.
Oh, well, that's fine then.
I was like, I was hoping for, don't worry, there are gamesmen or fences or electric wiring. Not, don't worry.
They're normally not hungry.
Their cup of tea.
Yeah, they've got better things to eat, darling. Don't you worry.
So we were sat, and we were like sat around this campfire with the guy, and then these guys made us some food, and we were like, oh, okay, we're going to go back to our hut then. And we went back to the hut, and we opened the hut door, and I kid you not, there were like 100 of these massive spiders. Like,
oh my goodness, shit. I hate spiders.
They were huge, and they were called cat spiders because they make this kind of like sound when they run.
Oh my goodness.
They were like the size of a hand. They were just so substantial and black and purry, and we just stood there in this doorway, and I was like,
purry.
Oh.
And my mate, she went, I'll try and catch them.
Oh my!
In like, she's going, let's just try and get them as many as we can in like a glass and just put them outside.
Is she mad?
And I was like, I can't get over. And she started like scooping one into a cup, put it outside, scooped another one. She was like, but they're just coming back in. I can't, there's just matter how many I catch. They're just coming back in.
Oh my.
And I was like, I don't know how to cope with this.
Even if she got them all out, I couldn't be like, right, well, that's that then. They've all pissed off home. This is going to be fine. Let's just get into our bed and nothing's going to bother us, is it? I would be like, mate, they're going to be in and they're going to be crawling over my face. No.
I'd be off.
You can't.
Have we checked if they're poisonous at this stage?
Get angry about it. You can't. This is the thing, because we were trapped. We were a taxi with a murderer. No, I'm joking.
Oh, true.
Yeah, the taxi, the bus, the overnight train. And then, so we went back to the campfire where these guys were sitting, and I was like, oh, our cabin is just filled with spiders. And they were like, yeah,
that happens.
And
yeah, that happens here. Did you not read it in the brochure?
I was was like, is that one of the spa treatments? And I was like, so what do we do? Because they're everywhere. And they're going, oh, okay. So what you do is you just put a sheet over your face so that they don't crawl in your mouth when you sleep.
Oh, right. A little flannel, basically.
God.
So I went, right, yeah, I think the only way I'm going to sleep in that cabin is if I am insanely drunk. So they were like, oh, well, we don't really have any alcohol and we shouldn't really give you alcohol. And I was like, no, it's really important that we have quite a substantial amount of alcohol. So these two lads that had been cooking for us, they were like, oh, well, look, we've got these like litre bottles of beer. So they gave us a litre of beer each. And me and my friend just downed this beer. And then I just passed out, but my mate was so angry. Oh, by the way, before that, I had to go to the toilet and she had to spray insect repellent between my bum and the back of the toilet to stop the spiders jumping onto my skin.
Oh, my goodness.
Esther, this is not okay.
No, it's not.
And then I got into bed and she was like, I can't sleep. Like, I can't close my eyes. And she said, while she was talking to me, I just put the sheet over my face and passed out. And she said, and it's the way she described me, she was like, I was literally sat all night, just traumatized. And every time I looked down, you were there with your hands behind your head, sheet over your face, just snoring because I just got really drunk.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was really unhelpful.
That's the thing. She's there on her own though, dealing with it on her own, isn't she?
I know. And I just left her to it.
I don't think I'd have stayed in the room. I think I'd have rather stood outside and risked it with the cheaters.
That's the thing. Were they trying to get inside the hut and was outside safe?
What, the spiders?
Like banging at the door.
Yeah. You know, like, I don't know, for shelter or whatever. Like, was outside by the fire safer? I'd have probably just laid there. Put a few logs together.
I'd rather risk a cheater than a spider.
Yeah, I think so.
But the next morning, we were trying to explain to the guy that was really horrific. And he was like, oh, no, it's fine.
No, it's not.
It's just
really
what
not
happens,
fine.
that, you know, and I was like, okay, well, that was just really traumatic. Anyway, we were like, okay, well, we've done our night here. We're going to trek back to the train station. And we ended up on this, oh God, I cannot tell you how long it took us. By the time we got to back to Mylapore, we looked so dirty and disgusting that like people wouldn't even, we went to this hotel and we were like, is there any way we can just use your like facilities because we're so disgusting? And they were like, yeah, but we can't let you come in through the front entrance because we don't want people thinking. So we had to like go in through the kitchen with the staff and like use the staff showers. And then we had to get on the overnight train to go back to Chennai, and again it was like a 5-hour overnight train, but again I was sat on this bunk next to my mate, and then this guy sat there and he started to try and chat her up, and she was going, oh Esther, do not leave me with this guy, don't, like, can you just help me out? I was like, yeah, no, of course. And then I proceeded to just fall asleep and she was just like literally having to deal with this bloke hitting on her for 5 solid hours. And when we got back to Chennai, she was like, well, I have to say that every time I needed Esther, she just slept through it. It was like the most least.
We've learned Esther has definitely not got your back.
Yeah, but what do we think is worse though, the spiders or the bloke?
I think she was equally annoyed by both.
Right, yeah.
I think she was a bit like the spiders. She was like that. I was just really amazed that you could fall asleep. But with the bloke, I was like, cheers, mate. He's literally just continuously trying to give me shots here, and I'm just having to fend off this bloke while you just snort your way through these. So yeah.
So you're that person that I marvel at that just falls asleep in any situation.
I think I've got some kind of stress narcolepsy because when I get stressed out, I just go to sleep.
That's a great defense mechanism.
I do every time. As soon as every time, it's like before a gig. If I get really nervous,
I have a little kip.
I'll be sat there yawning. I'll be sat there yawning, and people are like, "Why? You know, you seem very relaxed." And it's like I literally could fall asleep right now.
Fuck this shit! I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, it's like if something's really stressful, I'd rather just try and duck out of it.
Fight or flight.
Yeah, it's fight or flight.
Sleep.
Fight, flight, or sleep. And I'd just rather, I'm like,
I'll have a lie down.
If I was in a car and it was about to crash, I'd close my eyes.
Yeah, it's worrying, isn't it?
I'm that person. I'm just like, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it happening. I don't want to be involved.
You just go into a stress coma.
Yeah, it is. It's a stress coma.
That's genius.
Maybe that's a thing. Do you know, now that you're explaining it, I feel like it could be a real thing.
I reckon it is. Whenever things get really stressful, I just think, I can't cope with this. I just want to go to bed.
I mean, it's going to end at some point, right? And all you're doing is just sleeping it out.
There's no point everyone being stressed out.
Exactly.
I might as well get a bit of sleep.
100%. Yeah.
Might all be over when I wake up.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you one of those very few people that can fall asleep on a plane?
Yeah, I can fall asleep on a plane.
Oh, Guy, I'm envious of you.
Do people not sleep on planes?
There's always people having a kip on the plane.
Yeah, I know, but I think it's only a set few people. It's not, I don't think everyone's like, oh yeah, I can sleep on a plane. I've never been able to sleep on a plane.
I think this is a Joe problem.
I even try and actively book flights where I think, oh yeah, that flight is at 11 o'clock at night. That's my bedtime. So if I get on the flight then, I'll fall asleep, obviously. Does it happen? Does it fuck? So what I then end up doing is being awake for over 24 hours. It's a great game. Stamps, can you fall asleep on a plane?
I think I can. I think, yeah, I think it's a Joe problem.
Yeah, I think it's quite common for people to be able to sleep on planes.
Maybe it's me then. Oh my goodness. So your friend was getting chatted up then. You fell asleep.
Yeah, I fell asleep.
Did you make it back okay though?
Yeah, but my husband picked us up from the train station. He said, you literally didn't look like the same human beings that had left. You look like completely
Oh my
different
goodness.
people.
After all that travel to get there and then eventually getting there and then just being like the hut being riddled with spiders, I'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like after that, all you want is a decent night kip, surely.
Well, it started out quite nice, and they were like, it was all lovely, and they were like, oh, and we're going to bring you some afternoon tea, and we like sat outside the hut and had our
that's
afternoon
all
tea.
night.
And that's
Yeah,
all lovely. Yeah.
Mm.
And then it was as soon as night fell, they were just everywhere. I cannot express how many there were. All over the walls, all over the floors.
Did you read the reviews before you booked this?
I wasn't responsible. A lady at my work booked it for me.
She doesn't like you.
Yeah. Question, have you ever done anything to upset that lady?
No, I genuinely think that they were just like, look, it's all part of the experience. I don't think it was like something where in the reviews it was like, oh, look, it's all like part of the jungle experience. Like you're going to, be surrounded by animals and the rest of it.
That's it. You'll have no problem going on I'm a Celebrity.
Oh, you'd ace it now.
As long as I can be absolutely shit-faced the entire time,
Yeah.
I'd be fine. I'd be the worst one. They'd be like, she's just asleep.
Yeah, you'd be no good on I'm a Celeb because you would just conk out. You'd just be asleep all the time.
Yeah, every time something a little bit stressful happens, I'd be like, oh, I'm going to bed, not dealing with this.
Wake me up when they kick me out.
They would be carrying me across the bridge asleep.
It reminds me, you know that series, Gillian
McKee.
And when she just faints out of pure stress.
Oh,
Does
yeah.
she? Does she faint?
Faints in air quotes.
Yeah.
Like,
I just imagine, Esther, that's what you're like, this is too stressful, I must lie down.
It's just too stressful. What did she faint on? Was it I'm a Celebrity?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was live. There was a live trial. And she was like, oh, I don't know if, I feel faint. And then she did the worst fake faint you've ever seen in your life. It was hilarious.
Oh, dear.
Maybe I should just do I'm not, I don't think I could fake a faint.
Nor could she.
I wouldn't know how to do it,
It
really.
doesn't sound like you would need to, though. I think it would happen naturally. You'd be
I wouldn't,
fine.
I'd just go to sleep. God, even talking about it now, I'm feeling sleepy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was so it was hard not to feel like they were on you for a long time.
Yeah, you see, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, oh no, I can feel them.
So when you went back to work, what did you say to the lady that booked it? Surely you were like, what the fuck did you send me to?
I probably did say something. I mean, I think she found it funny. She had a very good sense of humour. So I think she found it funny.
Oh, I bet, because she didn't go. She wasn't sleeping with spiders, was she? I would be howling if I was her.
She was just a bit like, well, what did you expect? And I was like, well, just not as many arachnids.
Yeah.
Like it's your fault.
When you said you want to go and wash elephants, yes. Do you want to go and roll around with tarantulas? Not as much. No.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
I was trying to find a picture of one. I was going to send it to you of cat spider. I'll try and find a picture.
Can I politely decline that offer? Is that okay?
Are you not into spiders?
Shockingly, spiders are not really my thing. No, I have never considered buying one as a pet.
Them people are weird, aren't they? Who wants a spider as a pet?
Oh God, that's like my daughter. She wants a they're called like rose something tarantula.
Oh no!
She held
one
and she got really excited.
Oh my
by
God.
it. See, at London Zoo, they do this thing called the spider walk, where they have like the spiders outside. They're not like tarantulas, but they'll be like big garden spiders and stuff, and they're all like hanging from like the walls and stuff. And she was like, please, can we do the spider walk? Please, can we do the spider walk? I really want to do the spider walk. And my husband, he's like 6 foot, 6'2", skinhead. And he's like, I don't want to do the spider walk. And I'm like, well, she really wants to do it. And he's just muttering to himself going, I love my daughter. I love my daughter. Okay, let's do it. And we walked through the spider walk and she's like, can I use your photo, mum, your camera to take loads of photos? So she's like going up close to the spiders. And then because it was like mirrors, so you could see like the spiders from both sides. When we came out, firstly, the whole way home, my husband was like, they're on me. They're on me. He was like, absolutely. When we were looking through the photos, one photo, she's just looking so curiously and she's so close to this spider and taking a picture. And then it just, in next to her is just a reflection of my son's face, which is literally like the Scream mask.
Oh,
we're like, oh yeah, we didn't really think it through. Like, we've just made him. We haven't asked him and gone, is that something you'd like to do? It's just like, no, at 4 years old, we're just going to go in here. And he's just like, it's horrible. So we didn't, we hadn't really thought that through, but the photo's really funny.
Your husband deserves like a Father of the Year award. I love my children, but no, my love has a limit. I can't even go in like, the reptile house. There's always like the few spiders at the back in the cave, in the tanks. Oh,
can you
no,
not?
No, I'm terrible.
Yeah, it makes me feel all itchy and.
See, I'm starting to feel a bit funny sat here now. Actually, I'm like, I'm not somebody who has to kill them, and I am someone who can look at them, but I'm not very good at like when I've been on my own with the children and there's a spider in the house and they're like, can you get it out?
Yeah,
I do the entire thing screaming. I literally get the cup, get the piece of paper, and I'm like, all the way to the back door. And then it's like a bomb. I just throw it into the garden and like duck for cover.
See, I normally do the worst thing. I'll like throw a slipper at it from across the room, which will then knock it onto the floor. And then I'll jump up on the sofa screaming and just get carnage.
When I moved into my house, my mum's like housewarming present to me was a spider catcher because she knows how much I hate spiders. And it's like
them big long things.
It's this like big long like thing, and it's got like lots of fibers on the end, and you like put it on top of the spider, and essentially the spider, like, because of the material, it can't escape, but it doesn't kill them. And I wait for it to get at a good angle, because the worst thing you can do is go to get it, miss it, and that's it. Especially them sport spiders, those sport ones, they think they're fucking hilarious because they sprint away from you. So you have to get on right at the right angle. And then I like run out and I just like,
I don't like them.
Flick it out the door and get rid of it.
And then it comes back in.
No, it doesn't, Stamps. It never ever does that, obviously.
Rings the bell. It's like, excuse me, rude.
But some of those tarantulas, though, shed their skin like snakes. And I've heard of like when people are like new tarantula owners, they don't realise, and they can think that tarantula has like died or something. They like clear it all out, or they like just leave the box open. They take the thing out, and obviously the tarantula hasn't died; it's just shed its skin. And obviously the tarantula gets out.
So the tarantula's then out and about.
Yeah, so that's not good, is it?
Gross. No, my daughter has loads of books on tarantulas, and she gets me to read them to her as like bedtime stories, and they're like really graphic, like real close-up pictures. And that's very like, yeah, she's really into spiders.
That's not okay.
You two are like amazing parents.
Oh God, I'm not. Have you not listened to me on stage? I am absolutely horrific. I'm like, I owe it to that child for the amount of bitching I do on stage about my family. I owe her a lot of spider walks.
So when you were in India, because you said that you lived there, did you do any more venturing out?
Yeah, I mean, the whole place is so kind of crazy and so busy and so lively, and everywhere you go, like, it just changes from, I guess, a little bit like most cities. You go from one area to the other and it's just a completely different vibe, completely different feel.
Yeah.
And yeah, we went up to like, when we got married when we were in India, and then for our honeymoon, we went up to the Himalayas.
Oh, nice.
And we stayed in Shimla. We stayed at the house that used to be owned by Lord Kitchener.
Oh.
And that was mental because like, it was this huge house in the middle of the Himalayan mountains.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. And they've tried to keep it exactly as Lord Kitchener had it. So you get this huge room, and then you have like, those cords where you pull it and the butler comes.
Oh, yeah.
It was just mental. And there's like, we'll be serving your tea in the billiard room. It was just really crazy.
That's
And
like
they've
early
kept it.
1900s. It's like still like that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And like they'd go, we've got the horses ready for you outside, and you go outside and you go horse riding down like the mountains and stuff.
Oh,
It was absolutely insane, but it's probably one of the most beautiful places. Not that I agree with Lord Kitchener going and taking a massive chunk of land for himself and building a house there, but it is a very beautiful house in a very beautiful location.
You got to feel like you were in a period drama for a bit.
I did. I felt like I was in something that Helen Bonham Carter should be in.
That's awesome. Lady Two Coats
of the Himalayas. That was really cool. And I miss India a lot, actually.
How long did you live there for?
Only just over a year.
Okay.
So yeah, not a huge amount of time, but enough to kind of do a bit of travelling around and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. You would have been able to really experience it as well.
Yeah, we went over to the Taj Mahal, and lots of people thought my husband was Vin Diesel. Doesn't look like Vin Diesel at all.
No, he doesn't look like Vin Diesel.
He doesn't look like Vin Diesel at all. It was just everywhere we went, people would just shout out any white bald celebrities. That'd be like Bruce Willis, Vin Diesel. So we were at the Taj Mahal, and there was just all these like businessmen, and they all wanted their photo taken with my husband because he looks like Vin Diesel, which he doesn't. And I was just stood there holding coats while they all queued up to have pictures taken with my husband. Wherever I go, I'm just in a large building holding coats.
And then you came back to sunny England where there was far smaller spiders.
Mind you, when we came back, that's when we found the false widows. They've pretty much rapidly increased.
Let's stop talking about spiders.
I know. So apart from your little intrepid moment going into the jungle with your friend, what other exploring have you done?
So I've spent a lot of time in the Middle East. I used to spend my summers in either Lebanon or Tunisia because that's where my family were living.
Oh, okay.
Or Egypt. So I had family living in Lebanon, Egypt and Tunisia. So we used to spend all our summers there.
That's amazing to have the option.
Yeah.
I know.
All my family, they literally live in the West Midlands. That's it. If I want to go on holiday with family, it's 5 minutes down the road.
Well, at least they're all nearby and they're all close to you.
Yeah, but you can be too close to family, I feel.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. But I used to be like so envious of my mates because I'd be like, they're all going like, everyone used to always go Benidorm. And I was like, I wish I had a normal family. And we just went to Benidorm instead. Going to go in the pyramids again.
God damn it.
Yeah. Oh, how awful.
I know.
That must have been.
Man. I know. So a lot of travelling around there. And then after I lived in India, I lived in Dubai as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we used to do quite a lot of travelling out to like Oman and stuff, and do a lot of like sleeping out on the beach and a lot of like water sports and stuff. And Oman is absolutely stunning. It's so beautiful. Absolutely loved it.
I think Dubai looks really pretty.
Yeah.
But the stories of people getting into trouble for what over here seems very minor things. And I appreciate the rules over there. They're their rules, right? And that's fine. I'm accepting of that, even if I may not agree with them. That's why I actively choose to not go there, because I would feel so
conscious.
That it's like, oh God, I'm a woman having a drink, and people that I've spoken to, for the most part, it's generally okay.
Yeah.
But the problem is if you just get one wrong person in the room that you're in, and they don't like the behaviour, then shit can go downhill very quickly.
When I was in Dubai, I'd go out like drinking and stuff, and I never worried about that. But I obviously wasn't like having rampant sex on the beach or anything. So I think, because you can drink when you're in bars and you can drink when you're in clubs and stuff. It's just, you shouldn't really be drinking like in your house or out in the street and stuff.
You're not allowed to drink in your own house?
You need a license.
Oh, okay.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
So if you have a license, then you can drink in your house. But I wasn't allowed a license because I've got Lebanese nationality. So I'm Muslim, so I'm not allowed a license. So my husband could have had a license.
But does that cover the whole house, or does it cover him as an individual?
Just the living room.
It would just be him. So he can sit there. I'm like, damn it. I don't think we did have alcohol in the house, to be honest with you.
That's just the polar opposite of what we tend to do at home.
I know. I mean, you get used to it very quickly. But then, like, when we were in India, you used to have every month, one day of the month was dry day, and it was on the payday, and it was meant to stop all the blokes getting paid and just going and pissing all the wages up the wall on booze. So everyone would just stop selling alcohol for that day.
Just for a day.
Yeah. And it was really crazy because you just go into a bar and be like, oh, can I have a drink? And they're like, no, it's dry day today. And it's because they had a real problem with guys getting paid and then, you know, just fritting all the money away really quickly. So it's a chance to get home and get things paid before money gets spent on booze.
That happened here.
Imagine the arguments outside Wetherspoons.
Yeah, the crime rate would hit through the roof, wouldn't it, on that day every month?
It'd be like the Purge.
It would, yeah.
Isn't it crazy how much we really, really, really need alcohol?
Absolutely.
Isn't it mental?
Yeah.
When we were in Dubai, actually, my cousins, because they're Lebanese and they're not like big drinkers, and they were going, oh, we went to our friend's wedding and it was an English woman marrying a Lebanese guy, and they were going, English people really can't relax until they drink, can they? Because we're like up dancing and, you know, chatting, but the English people are just like, just drinking. They're just drinking. And it was literally not until like the last hour of the night that they're all on the dance floor. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty much how it happened.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That
I was
sounds
like, we just can't. Like, you wouldn't go into a party and be like, okay, let's just get on the dance floor. No, you've got to be drunk. You've got to be drunk to express yourself, and you've got to be drunk to have a dance.
100%.
And the rest of the time, just silent.
Just awkward silence.
Yeah.
Just awkward silence and waiting for it to end. With me just sleeping.
Yeah.
Again, I can't have it. I'm too stressed.
That sounds about right for us as a collective community, doesn't it?
It is funny though, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
I think that's why we rely so much on booze, because it really helps us just let us go, just to have a good time.
Yeah, I think we just think alcohol gives us that mental freedom from our own pain. Doesn't it?
You should work in advertising.
Wow. Alcohol gives us mental freedom from our own pain.
Our own excruciating lives.
If that doesn't replace hands, face, space, what can?
Aren't they saying that every single British person, to be able to save the pubs, needs to drink 124 pints?
What's the slogan again? Alcohol is the freedom from mental pain. Write that down.
Alcohol gives you freedom from your own mental pain.
Alcohol is freedom from your own mental pain.
Yeah.
Right. So that's your marketing campaign for drinking. What's the time period we've got to drink 124 pints?
A week.
No.
We've got to drink 124 pints in a week. I'm just going to work that out. How many is that a day?
It's just to save the economy. So we've got to do our bit.
124 pints divided by 7. So that's 17 pints a day we need to do. It's quite a lot.
Right.
It's quite a substantial amount.
Maybe we should spread it out over 2 weeks.
Okay.
8.5 a day.
I still don't think I could achieve that, to be honest.
I don't think I can do 8.5 pints in a day, really. Sorry. I'm going to have to let the economy.
It's all Esther's
the
fault.
Economy down.
When we go into recession.
Yeah. It is all my fault. Can we not drink anything else? I could drink 8 glasses of Prosecco a day.
Yeah, I think that counts.
Easy.
I mean, maybe 8 pints of Prosecco.
I could probably do that. I can drink Prosecco like it's going out of fashion.
I'm sure there's some compromises that we can make here. It'll be fine. Yeah. We'll ask the big wigs at the top.
We could just maybe pop it in a question for Matt Hancock.
When they do their COVID update, we'll just go on there and be like, hey, Boris,
that'd be good.
These 124 points.
Yeah.
We don't think we can achieve that, and we don't want to let the
economy down. No.
Yeah. So can we actually split this between the three of us? Esther's going to do Prosecco. Stamps, what are you drinking?
Oh, single malt for me.
Right, okay. And I'll probably go on the gin.
Oh.
We'll probably get it done quicker then, because if it's going by like finance or ABV, the Prosecco, gin, and we'd be better off.
So technically, we're just doing our bit to make up for people who are teetotal or don't drink for religious reasons. We'll just make up for them, really.
Yeah, sorted.
Yeah, we'll just drink for them.
Yeah,
it's fine.
And then obviously we'll also present our slogan as well.
Yeah, we'll escape from our own mental pain during the experiment.
Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer.
Alcohol, and you got to do it like a marketing thing. Alcohol, freedom from your own mental pain.
Yeah.
And then the music. Da-da-da-da. Yeah, a little
It
ting
is.
on your teeth.
I'm on board.
It is a winner.
Alcohol. Freedom
is.
from your own mental pain.
Yeah.
Ding.
So I think we'll get more of the nation behind us with that slogan than the slogans that have already been presented to
Hands,
us.
face,
Yeah.
face.
Hands, face,
Yeah.
face.
Here we go again. That's got to be a slogan
Here we
soon,
go
surely.
again.
Oh my
Here
goodness.
we go again. Yeah, it will be. Yeah.
So have you got yourself a little travel list? Is there anywhere that you desperately want to go to? Where have you been dreaming of travelling to, Esther?
She's been everywhere.
Do you know what? I'd really like to go to Australia. I've never been to Australia.
Oh, you would. Convenient. It's
I'd
on the
like to go
list.
there.
It's on the green list. That's convenient for you, isn't it?
It's on the green list.
Yeah.
And it's got a good spider range.
Oh, yeah.
So fit in with all my must-haves for any holiday destination.
Yeah, definitely.
Must have terrifying arachnids running around.
Yeah, and snakes as well. If I don't know if you want to break into other scary animals, but snakes are also rife there.
Yeah.
I'm all right with snakes.
Yeah. I got bitten by a snake once.
Oh, don't say that. Now I'm not all right with snakes. Why did you get bitten by a snake?
Oh, no, I didn't. Not a snake, a spider I got bitten by. Sorry.
Oh, they are similar, so I can see how you made that mistake.
I was young, but I woke up with this massive, like, egg-shaped lump on my arm,
God.
and it had fang marks in it.
Did a load of baby spiders come out of it?
Well, they had to remove something. They never told me what it was, but I was little.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. You've ruined my life.
Have I? I'm really sorry. I ruin most people's lives. That's why I just go to sleep, so I don't have to. Sleep is my freedom from my mental pain.
Oh God.
What's in Australia? Anything particular?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so why Australia? Where, I mean, it's a big place. Whereabouts? Is there anywhere specific? The jungle, is that what you're aiming for? Is this what?
Yeah.
Oh,
I want
really?
to go and do a bit of kind of outbacky, trekky stuff. Yeah, and I'd really like to go to Thailand. Never been
Oh,
to
yes,
Thailand.
I want to go
Vietnam.
there.
I'd love to go to Vietnam. I've not been to like Southeast Asia, so I'd like to.
Yeah.
I'd like to at some point go to Southeast Asia and then maybe on to Australia.
Yeah, that sounds good. Because obviously, like people from England, whenever they do go over that way, they do hop between all those sort of destinations, don't they?
Yeah. It's kind of a gap year thing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Whereas in mine will be a midlife
Yeah.
I
crisis.
think it will be for a lot of people, won't it, after this? So you're not on your own.
I need to do some midlife travelling, I think.
You do, Sam.
Missed out
Yeah.
so far.
You do.
Go and do some midlife travelling.
Yeah, in nice hotels, though. Not in the bush.
Spider free.
Is that with the girls and Lucy, or is this on your own, Stamp?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I want to enjoy it, so maybe on my own.
The thing is going away with family isn't really a holiday. It's just travel. It's just
Parenting on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
It's not relaxing. It's just instead of shouting and screaming in your own house, you're now just doing it on lots of different forms of public transport in front of lots of members of the public. It's not particularly relaxing.
Adding to your mental
But the
pain.
thing is, though, you just fall asleep. So it's surely your husband
I do.
has to deal with all this.
Do you know what? I do sometimes do that when I'm in the car. Like we're in the car and he's driving somewhere and the kids are in the back being a nightmare and he'll be like, can you get involved? And I'm like, I really just want to go to sleep. This is really stressing me out.
That's my wife's trick. As soon as we're in the car, she's asleep. And I've got twins fighting in the back and she's having a kip. Catching flies. I'm like, this is not okay.
Put a sheet over her face so that she doesn't get spiders in there.
Put a sheet over her face for someone else. That cannot be used in
Oh,
court
my
as
goodness.
evidence.
Oh, wow. Oh, my. So Australia, Southeast Asia, all of those
Yeah,
good places.
all those.
Yeah, where all the cool
Yeah.
kids are going.
I'll fit right in. I won't. I'll be the one. 2 coats Manito. Sleep on a deck chair in Thailand.
Oh, my
You can go and
goodness
brought your
me.
gran.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I won't be doing mind-bending drugs and clubbing. I'll just be sat there waiting.
Yeah.
Just shouting
Holding the
out.
coats.
Just shouting. I need more alcohol to free me from my mental unhappiness.
Oh, wow. It's been good. I mean, the spiders bit was not so great for me. Other than that, I think it's been a good little chat. And I think you have to go on your travels, go to Australia, go to Thailand, and then we'll probably have to get you back on again to find out what other types of spiders you've been haunted by.
Yeah, or me and Lily, we could go on a holiday together and we can come back and tell you about how awful it was being in each other's company.
That would be amazing.
Oh, I'd rather die.
She can take you on one of her holidays and we'll see how let's just count how many times you fall asleep. How many stressful situations you find yourself in.
Sleep for 7 days straight.
Yeah, my guess is 5 times over a 4-day period.
No, I don't want to go on holiday with Lily to Fallaraki.
No.
I don't want that to happen.
Politely declining that offer.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I assume this is when she was younger and not like last year.
Too young, in fact, Esther,
Oh,
I would
dear.
say. Yes.
16, one of them.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
She set fire to her own face by trying to drink a flaming sambuca.
Oh, Lily. Well, you know.
And she was the eldest in the group.
Ugh.
She was the guardian.
Oh, creepy. So
Yes.
she's like a proper, like,
Yeah.
weirdo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, I'm going to talk to her about this.
Oh, well, thank you, Esther, for joining us on the pod. It's been great.
No, thanks for having me. Really enjoyed it.
So, yeah, furry spiders. I'm not looking in the business of getting a pet just yet, and it certainly won't be
Tarantula.
a spider, an arachnid of any kind.
Oh, an arachnid. Very posh.
Thank you. I mean, it wasn't on the agenda anyway. It certainly isn't now. I do want to go to India, but I feel that I'm probably not going to go into like the depths of like the wilderness in India.
Staying in a cabin with 100 spiders.
Oh my good God, no way.
Apart from the horrendous spiders, Esther has been to some cracking places. She's got family in amazing places as well.
She has, yeah. Hopefully we'll see her on Sunday, have a good laugh. And you never know, she might go off and live somewhere else and we can get her back on the podcast.
Yes. After she's been away with Lily and Lily's destroyed her, I don't think she's got
Oh
any
my
intention of
God,
being
we're
away
going to
with
have
her.
to do a special with her and Lily.
Oh, our first double episode.
Yes, that would be so fun, wouldn't it?
Yes. Let's go and sort it out now. See you next week, people.
Why do you always have to try and get the last one in?
I don't.
Right, okay.
Bye.
I hate you. Find us on Instagram, Misadventures in Travel. Follow us, like our posts, support us, and if you've got any stories, any misadventures of your own, DM us, let us know, and we could share them on the podcast.